Human exploration of the ocean. That's only 5% of the ocean. On the deep sea floor, there may be mysterious texts hidden that humans have not yet understood. Plot ruins. Unknown structure. Mysterious creatures are the remains of an unknown civilization, or a natural wonder at the bottom of the sea. Today, I will bring you into the face of the hidden truth in the depths of the ocean. In 2011, Sweden's undersea expedition OceanX, during a survey of shipwrecks in the Baltic Sea, in 100 meters of water depth, we found an unidentified strange object. So this object is 73 meters in diameter. Thickness is about 9 meters. From an underwater scanning device, it looks too artificial. It doesn't look naturally formed at all. Ocean's team, and they immediately reported their findings to the academic community, and we're going to tell the world about it through the press. When people hear that in the Baltic, similar findings were found at a depth of 100 meters in the sea, ancient relics, and his shape, like a spaceship in a movie. Many people speculate this could be an ancient crashed UFO. After that, the media all over the world used UFOs. This keyword is reported. This object instantly attracted the attention of the world for further investigation. Even the X-team on their second expedition sent professional divers into the sea. According to the diver involved in this investigation, Stefan Hoser, said that when they got close to the object, all electronic devices suddenly stopped working. And when they move more than 200 meters away from the object, the electronics are working again. As soon as you get close, it fails again. He said that in 20 years of diving, never seen anything like this. Although we don't know what this object is, but it is certain that he is man-made. Also OceanX team, when analyzing photos and videos taken by divers, also on the object and the surrounding terrain, found some black marks. Undersea exploration expert Lindberg analyzed that these traces could be from when the UFO crashed. It collides with the terrain. If not, can't explain these black terrain traces. There are many scholars. Hypotheses were put forward about this mysterious object. Some people say that the structure of this object, it could never have been formed by geological processes, although its surface looks like rock. That's because of long-term accumulation of sediment. Overlay on top, it is likely. Is it a mysterious creature we don't know about? The remains of ancient creatures. It could also be a remnant of intelligent life in the deep sea. Even alien civilizations go deep into the ocean floor, device for performing activities. But so far, that's just speculation. Due to the unique underwater environment, further exploration is relatively difficult. So far, there is still no definitive conclusion about the object. There is no theory can accurately explain the object. Manufactured by the National Science Foundation in 1964, the world's first ship, Antarctic research ship, Atlantis. He is in the deep sea of Antarctica. A very peculiar object has been detected. An antenna. At that time, they were developing a mobile base in Antarctica to conduct bathymetric surveys in the surrounding waters, 4,200 meters below the seafloor. Accidentally discovered an object. This object looks like a modern antenna. This place is located in South America, south of Cape Horn, the southernmost point, about 1,600 kilometers away. It is one of the most desolate seas in the world. There's nothing around but icebergs. The route from Cape Horn to the South Pole, due to strong waves and rapids, it has always been known as the sea grave. Very dangerous, and in this piece, in the middle of an empty, lifeless ocean floor. But miraculously stands this unidentified structure. Object at that time. This news, via New Zealand's largest daily newspaper, New Zealand. The Herald explosion was first announced to the world. For a while, people's true identity of this object, and there was a heated argument. Let's take a closer look at this object. It is about 1.2 meters high. The columns are radially connected to 12 crossbars. The crossbar is perfectly symmetrical, round ends. It looks like it was used for launch, and the antenna that receives the signal, due to the lack of technology at that time, can go directly down to that depth. Confirm the mysterious color of this object. It's thicker. So many people speculate it may have been inhabited in ancient times. Warm south. Remains of ultra-ancient civilizations in the polar continent. After covering the Antarctic continent for 3 kilometers, glaciers, there may be countless such ruins hidden beneath. So some guess that about 200 million years ago, when Antarctica was not covered by glaciers, civilization may already exist on Earth. Some people think the legendary continent of Atlantis. It is also very likely that it originated in the ancient Antarctic continent. But some UFO research experts believe that this object may be abandoned extraterrestrial structure because the antenna is in a very hard to reach location. Perhaps a past alien civilization to send and receive signals, and the device that was intentionally placed there. In 1971, geologist Bruce Eisen completely refutes those science fiction speculations. He took Tannen County, classified as a marine animal. It is speculated that this object may be the remains of a carnivorous sea urchin in Kradoisa. Although the appearance of these two things, some similarities indeed, compared to alien structures, this view seems closer to reality. But there are some flaws in this. From Florida State University, marine biologist Thomas Hawkins. 3 rebuttals are proposed. First, Erden Day. The county has a very clear and defined mechanical shape. Kradoisa, on the other hand, has an irregular shape. The second, Kradoisa is past marine organisms that reproduce asexually. But no similar creatures were found nearby at all. Like dandelion seeds as we know them, plants that reproduce asexually. Most of them will be within a certain area. Swarm growth, but this object stands alone. Vast seabed. The third is 4 kilometers below the seafloor. The sun never gets there. So, the possibility of the existence of marine plants or animals, extremely low for these reasons. Professor Hawkins preferred to support claims of extraterrestrial structures. Finally, under the discussion of all parties, his exact identity has not been confirmed. This object is gradually forgotten by people. However, after 60 years, he reignited controversy because in the United States, in an ancient mural in Seg Canyon, Texas, discovered days with Tannen, a very similar pattern of lines. So some people speculate this mural is also the same as the deep-sea antenna in Antarctica, possibly the remains of an alien civilization. June 2017, an American blogger posted on the internet, opened a mysterious underwater barrier. The title of the video he uploaded is shocking. Called from Antarctica, mysterious giant underwater barrier from sea to North Pole. This video is about Google Maps. It went viral on the internet. Then it was reprinted and exposed by major media. Underwater screen. The news of the obstacle soon spread all over the world. About 2 years later in 2019, on a conspiracy theorist channel, a video appeared. The video content probably says, this underwater barrier, from the South Pole along the meridian to the North Pole. But in 2018, the barrier disappeared from the map. The reaction was that the barrier had been painted, described in such detail, and it's formed right along the 180-degree meridian. It's hard to think of it as an accidental coincidence or map errors. Let's take a closer look at this barrier. It is about 1.7 kilometers high. It's about 3 kilometers wide. It's an incredibly large structure. It runs along the meridian. It's a straight line. This means it couldn't have formed naturally. If it is a natural structure, it doesn't extend that straight. And in the middle of the barrier, there are a few more, like a bridge that opens up the passage below. Between these passages, you can also see some depressions similar to modern roads. The groove shape even has a center line. Some people may ask, why didn't anyone confirm it at the time? It's not that easy, because the water depth of the barrier is more than 5 kilometers, even going there. Due to the barrier's width exceeding 3 kilometers, it's also hard to determine whether this is a barrier. It's part of the ocean floor. If this is man-made street shopping, then the people who built him must possess wisdom beyond our imagination. There is also a view that, considering that the Earth is round, this underwater barrier restricts the flow of seawater. It is possible that the existing Earth's climate conditions had a beneficial impact. If this is true, so the purpose of building this barrier, just far beyond what we can usually think of. So who built such a huge barrier? And for what purpose? Scientists have offered an explanation, saying that this barrier is not physical. It's a visual phenomenon, closely related to the physical properties of the ocean. May 2014, Jimmy, the host of an American radio station, the concubine received a letter from the audience, Amazing breaking email. The content of the email says, shores in Malibu, California, 2,000 feet underwater. I saw a strange one. The structure is attached with the coordinates of the map. So he went to check it out for himself. You see this picture. What was your first impression? Does it look a bit like an ancient Greek building? And it's sort of an arena. Anyway, the first impression is, he looks like a man-made structure. This object, it's about 800 meters across, about 200 meters high. View from above. It's almost a perfect oval. The surface is much smoother than the other parts. Down there, several vertical pillars are like entrances, although a bit vague, but you can also see the staircase-like terrain. It's obvious, all the columns are on the same height line. The ground in front of the building is also relatively clean. It looks like it's been swept away, if it is naturally formed. It's too symmetrical. Mystery radio host Jimmy Chichi, in his show, introduced this place as a USO base. After the news broke, the public response was enthusiastic because the Malibu coast is the world's largest UFO, one of the most witnessed places. It's no exaggeration to say, most professionals work with UFOs. All the people involved in the study live here. It's very famous here, except for the USO base. Some relevant researchers and hypothesized about the object. Some say it was built in ancient times, being submerged by sea level rise. It is evidence of a super ancient civilization. Some people say that this could be the ocean used during World War II. Military installations. There are also similar situations, 3,000 feet under the sea. A strange structure resembling a tadpole was discovered. There is the mysterious Nazca, near the coast of the line. On a long road in the deep sea, there is an unidentified circular object behind the object, and a zigzag tail. And the path some have speculated. This round object could be an alien habitat. The zigzag tail is the route to the dwelling. These peculiar structures, is it left behind by an alien civilization, or the product of ancient civilizations? Or maybe it's just simple, naturally formed submarine structures. At present, these claims, there is no clear conclusion yet. 1997. The National Oceanic Administration's water shelf microphone, at a depth of 4,500 meters in the waters off Nanjing, captured a shocking, strange sounds of unknown origin. The voice we just heard was called Loop. It was sent 4,500 meters from the Antarctic Sea and any known life form on Earth. It is impossible to make such a strong sound. It presents a unique frequencies that never occur in volcanoes. It is speculated that its origin is likely to be an unknown animal. The report caused a sensation around the world. November 1997. National Oceanic Administration, after first receiving this sound, represents the very low frequency sound received. Very similar to the frequencies emitted by deep-sea animals. They thought it was a living creature's call. In addition, some experts speculate that, if this is really the sound of deep-sea creatures, then its body size is at least close to 200 meters. If this is true, that would be larger than the largest creature ever found on Earth. They're 7 times bigger. Since then, not only in Antarctic waters, in the Indian Ocean, this strange sound has also occurred many times, but the exact source of its sound has never been determined. Is it somewhere in the deep sea? Are there really strange creatures we don't know about? There is a kind of ice in the sea. It's called saltwater ice. Once anything touches it, you freeze instantly. So it's called the ice of death. But it doesn't stop there. It not only forms icicles when it comes into contact with the ocean floor, it also flows instantly along the ocean floor, freeze and destroy everything around you in an instant. So why does this phenomenon occur in the sea? The reason is because seawater contains salt. When the weather gets cold, the salt will sink and collect. These clustered high-density brine. Its temperature is much cooler than the surrounding seawater. As the density of the brine increases, it sinks into the water. In the process, he will instantly touch the seawater around him. Freeze all. One might think, just don't touch him. But here's the thing. Not only does the seawater come into contact with it freeze, the ambient temperature will also drop sharply. So the filming team that filmed this phenomenon at the time, also in an extremely dangerous situation. It's both mysterious and terrifying. Deep sea, it really seems to be a fear full of unknowns. Terrible place. Which is more interesting, the deep sea or the universe? Personally, I even think the unknowns of the deep sea may be more. It was more inspiring. The universe is vast and mysterious, but the deep sea seems to be more terrifying. And when we face these unsolved mysteries, we should maintain a rational and objective attitude. Maybe one day in the future, science will provide us with a perfect answer.